Let's see. I guess we will see in just a second whether or not I am. Let's see whether or not I am live or not. Um, I am. I'm seeing myself on this thing, and I'm going to. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Good morning to you if you are seeing me. This thing has a little icon on here now that says I am live, and so perhaps I am. So I want to greet you on this fine Tuesday, and and welcome you to this morning. And you know what? It's interesting. Well, so much is interesting to me. I find life fascinating. I want to say that I find it interesting that most people don't broadcast this time of day because nobody is watching at this time of day except for you. And whenever you are watching, it is perfect. All is perfect, all is well. And so I greet you, honored by your attention and your presence. And, I am so when I say I'm honored by your presence and your attention, it's because I recognize how valuable it is. And the God in me greets and salutes the God in you. Here's one of the things that last night y'all know I tell all my business, and this is not only I do this morning glory not only to, illuminate, educate, get some stuff off of me, to allow spirit to flow through me, but also, this is kind of like a personal, like, trisp down the, lane for me, in that I am, not only am I showing who I am, I'm also discovering who I am at every moment. And for some of you, that might sound weird especially if you already think that you know everything about yourself. What I do know is that since I'm open at the top, I am constantly discovering new and awesome things about myself, about this universe, about each one of you, about so much. And so to be on this journey with you is just crazy good. And I don't know, you may not value this, but so out of the hour that I maybe come on here and talk, it's maybe you might think like, okay, there's 5 minutes worth of juice in this, but that 5 minutes can, sometimes you may go and think that there is 5 minutes in 3 days of this, but sometimes it's like it puts you on the fast track if you don't resist. And many of the times what we do is that, we go back to sleep. We wake up, we have that moment, that epiphany, and then we go right back to sleep. Ah, man, but here's the thing. I love the discovery of it. I love going through the process of it. And then I show up every single day because, if it happened yesterday or the day before or last week or last month or last year, it'll happen again. And so it's just like, use me. So what may seem like that juice to you, that 5 minutes of juice, another different 5 minutes or 10 minutes might be something for somebody else. It's the way that it moves and grooves. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. So, welcome to my world. Welcome to this Tuesday, and I am just grooving on a groove train. Oh my gosh, good. So, I got so many things that that I'm coming on here to talk about today because just life is good. But let me say this. Last night, I spent a couple of hours with my niece. You know, I was talking about last week how we worked on her homework, that algebra, and it was so good, right? So I was looking forward because we agreed. I asked her when she was willing to or wanted to do her homework with me. And so we decided that we would do it on Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay, so Mondays and Wednesdays it is. So last night when I got on there, I was so excited thinking that we were going to do the same algebra homework that we left off on, but she was on something different. Oh my God. First off, she told me she didn't have any homework. I did it all. And then I said, oh, okay, well then let's do something else, right? And so she was kind of resistant. And then she opened up something and we discovered 2 hours worth of homework. So, so let's get started. That's what I was like. Let's just do it. And, you know, we probably about an hour to an hour and a half in, she starts, you know, making all these noises and you know, pushing things around. We're on Zoom now. And she's pushing things around like she's kind of whatever, resentful. I don't know. But, you know, she was kind of acting a little attitude-ish, talking about she was tired. And I'm thinking, look, girl, you tired. I'm tired. I'm hungry and tired. But yet and still, we doing your homework. So let's get it done. And so, you know, we push through and we push through and we push through. As a matter of fact, I speeded up the process because I was really making her do the homework. But now let's go with this, right? Just that's where I was. Let's go, right? So we started in and we picked up the pace of doing the homework. Let's go. You know, come on, you notice we just did this. Come on, you know, so that's what I was doing. And so finally we get to the end because we could see the progression up there because all of this stuff now is computerized. Who knew? You don't have to take some wrinkly paper back in and say, oh, I did this. It's like all on the computer and you get the answer and you put it in there and it tells you right away whether or not you're right or wrong. So we finished and this little woman, she was like, we get to the last one and she was like, and it came up correct. Oh, thank God. All right, bye. And she hung up the phone. First, oh, wait a minute. Before she said, all right, bye, she started looking for her badge. What badge? Oh, I get a badge if I did an hour's worth, or if I get a badge if I did, I don't know, some kind of badge she started looking for. She's looking for this badge. And I'm thinking, okay, so just a second ago, you so tired that you couldn't do this, you know, didn't want to finish this way. Okay, so now she's looking for the badge. So she can't find the badge and she's like, okay, bye. And hangs up the phone. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, where did I get a badge for me and all my work? Or, Auntie, thank you. I really appreciate your help. I didn't get anything. It was a okay, bye. And hang up the phone. So you know me, I called her right back. Like, and when my sister was telling me that she went, you better go get that child so she can come back down here and say that she appreciated being helped with her homework. So when I say that I appreciate you for showing up here, I appreciate you for showing up here. I don't want somebody to think that my mother and father raised somebody who doesn't acknowledge the fact that intention, attention, intention, all of that is important. I don't give my attention and intention to just anything or anybody willy-nilly. So when you come on, and I'm saying that I appreciate you being here and sharing this journey with me, is because I know how valuable these things are. And we are buoyed by this attention to things. At first, when as we were going through the homework, my niece was kind of like hesitant. But by the time we got into and I started picking up the pace, it was, now she's showing that she's understanding. Now she's showing that she's got it. And I wasn't letting her just skirt by and say, because, don't tell me that you're not good at math. Don't say that not one more time. You're as good as you decide to be. And so whatever that is, make a decision for yourself in your life, right? Make some decisions, because you are as good or as bad as you decide to be. Make up your mind to be. And then, some people, some people quit, right? Before they get there, they give up. The silver lining of the cloud of doubt. Isn't that what they say? Some people do. What is Beyonce saying? I'm going to keep running because a winner don't quit on himself. I don't know how it goes, but something like that. I don't quit on myself. So I don't want you to quit on yourself either. We are here. We are in this fight, in this struggle for our own enlightenment. And I don't know what that means for you, but I know for me that, I'm like star child, right? I got someplace I'm going. And it is not just about me. I don't know about you, but it is not just about me. One of the trip ups on this, whatever walk you're on, if it's the spiritual walk, if it's just the enlightenment walk, if you just want to be happy, one of the trip ups that people get into is this idea of turning around and looking to see where other people are and what they're doing and how they're perceiving you and whether or not that is a trip up. It's a trip up, right? Now, so one of the things that happens to a lot of people is they're so busy trying to, keep score. How many did I get right? How many did I win over? How much bigger is my church than their church? How much am I able to make people shout? We get all caught up on these things that we think are measures for our success. That is a trip up. It's a trip up. And so when you don't know that, what you do is you run around trying to keep score and keep points and don't realize that you are shooting yourself in the foot. So run your race without sitting up trying to compare, without sitting up trying to make it about, the awards, the accolades, the acknowledgments, all of that stuff. Run your race, right? Run your race. Because what happens in the end is that it is about all of us. It's not about the people that you beat or the ones that you leave behind. It's about each and every one of us. I often talk about, years ago, I got this, I thought it was, because I grew up in a time of musical chairs like so many. But I got this position called out of the clear blue. I had been sitting here in my house and praying about, God, I just, wanted some more. It's always the struggle of how do I finance my dream, right? What I'm doing. How do I finance that? How do I keep the lights on, the internet running, the heat on, and all of that stuff at the same time working my thing because I don't want to go work for somebody else. So I get this call out of the clear blue, and my phone rings, and it's this woman, and she's calling from a company I had never heard of. It was Diebold. Diebold. What is a D? Okay. Yes. Yes. How can I help you? That's the attitude that was in. How can I help you? And she was like, I see that you are a trainer. And I was like, yep, I'm a independent trainer. I hire based on contract, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And she was like, well, I was wondering if you would be willing to come and we're in Canton. But of course we pay, and she told me how much they paid at the time. I don't know if it was like, it was like something like $35 an hour. Plus they paid for my travel, whatever it was from the time I left my house to the time I got back to my house. That was how they paid. And so I thought, at the time I was like, okay, I needed to make some money. And this was what she told me in the first place is it was a limited assignment, right? A limited assignment. And so I thought, okay. So maybe 3 to 6 months, I'm going down to Canton, coming right back. And yeah, okay. I could do that. I was thinking to myself, and then you know how you do, you start counting, okay, okay, I could do that, because that'll get me this little lump sum of money in this amount of time. And I was like, okay, I could do that, right? That was what I decided. So when I get down there, they have me in a room with, let's say, 15 other people, 15, 16 other people that are also training for the same position. Now, then they tell us, 15, 16 other people, they tell us we're only actually going to hire 10 of you, but we're training and we're going to just see once this is over who makes the cut and who doesn't. And so off we go, right? And one of the things that I am always interested in is the head games that we play, right? What's the head game? What's the head space that we're in? So of course, everybody is busy trying to shine. They want to shine. Now, I'm telling y'all that this is right. Yeah. So everybody is, trying to, impress and do what they think is impressive. So I'm coasting along, because this to me seemed like, okay. Now, one of the things that A Course in Miracles teaches you is that what you teach, you learn. So I may not, I may be sitting in a class just like everybody else and trying to learn the same stuff, the same rules, the same procedures as everybody else. But A Course in Miracles says, what you teach, you learn. That means that what you're learning is heightened to a whole nother level once you commit to being the teacher of what it is that you're learning. So what do I normally do? Just like you see me do here. I take myself out of the student role and I put myself into the teacher role. Even if I'm only teaching all the ghosts and goblins that I can't see around my house, I'll say, all right, all you angels, come on in here. We about to go over this material. I'm telling y'all no lie. This is Sandra 101, right? I will talk to an empty room. When I was over there at that church that I had, a lot of times I would go in there and I might be the only one there. Heaven forbid, that didn't happen too often, but I might be the only one there. And do you know that I will stand there and talk to an empty room? Do you think I give a shit that it's empty? I will talk to an empty room, because what I have been told and what I have been taught is that what you speak about, you bring about, What you teach, you learn. It evolves me the moment I take up that position. And so I really was like, I was like, okay, I was like, okay, let me get up here, and I'm sitting up there in the thing, and all these people up there trying to learn this material. And when lunchtime came, the people who were not up to par or where I was like, oh, y'all, come on over here. Come on over here. Y'all come on over here. And I started teaching the class during lunch. And the people turning around looking at me like, Sandra, they only hiring 10 of us. Those people that don't notice, those people that are weak, I said, I'm about to teach them. I'm about to show them. And that's exactly what I did. Every single time we went to lunch, they came to me for the class in between the class, because if they wasn't getting it, I'm about to show you how to do it. These other people who thought that they were at the top, they was pissed at me. But guess what happened? They ended up hiring everybody. So this idea that, oh, I gotta get mine, you about to knock me out because no. I don't operate like that. We don't operate on this limited kind of mentality. If I'm sitting up looking around, they tell you, even when you are a track star, right? When you running track, the moment you start looking over your shoulder to determine where everybody else is going or where they're at, you're losing ground. You do not get caught up into comparisons. You don't get caught up on where you are. Run your race. Run your race and do what it is that you do. And as you do that, oh my gosh, the blessings come to me, right? So I get to learn on a whole new level what I'm willing to go forth and teach and share with the world. So when I may sit there and say to my niece, you better say thank you, but that too is a lesson that I'm teaching. One of the things, of Course in Miracles also said is that, God don't need your gratitude. That's what it said. I was like, because, people are always around here telling me about, oh, you got to thank God. You got to do this. You got to do that. Course in Miracles says that God doesn't need my gratitude, right? But it says, but you need to develop your ability to be grateful for that which you receive. Now, that was a shout moment for me. I need to develop my ability to be grateful. So when you think about it, I was thinking about it like, I don't add to God one iota by saying, oh, God did this, right? Because God is being God. God busy doing what it does. Now, I'm not saying that like it's a person, because I don't like to give people that misnomer that it's some, entity up there in the sky. No, right? It is the very fabric in which we live, move, and have our being. It is in all, through all, and it is doing what it does, regardless of whether or not you acknowledge it. But you and I need to develop our ability to see that this is the fabric, the thing that interconnects and interlocks all of us, regardless of whether we acknowledge it or not. We need to develop our ability to see that and to know it. And the moment we see it and know it, you can teach it, right? The moment you see it and know it, what you do is you strengthen that, because now I don't need to go and try to search for or figure out things. Now I can just be on that vibrational thing that knows that right here, right now. So one of the things that I say, good morning, Nadine. One of the things I am always in the awareness of is like sometimes this thing about looking around, trying to see what other people are doing. One of the things that I also realize is that when there are certain laws that that govern this universe, and whether or not you know them or not, they are still governing the universe, right? So there is this interconnectivity through all things. It is woven in and all of this. And so the moment you figure that out, you figure out, how is it that then I get to be blessed, right? How is it then that I get to experience the things that I do? Here's the thing. So what I know is if what I teach, I learn. So I do that, right? I need to develop my ability to be grateful so that I can see the interconnectivity and the way that these things work. Okay, I see that. And what I give to another, I give to myself. Oh, yeah. And somebody didn't hear me, because that ought to be a shout moment right there, right? What you give to another, you give also to yourself. Here's the funny thing. What you deny somebody, you deny yourself. So when I'm sending out blessings to you, when I'm sending out and saying, hey, that I've made every person who hears my voice, who sees my image, or who even thinks about me be blessed, right? When I'm sending out my blessings to you, I can't help but be blessed, because first it's got to come through me to get to you. So it's a blessing upon me too. Reverend Ike used to say, I would walk down the street and he says, I look at people and say, I see money all over you, right? I see money all over you. As you give, you receive. As you give, you receive. Holy crap on that, right? So what you deny, what you withhold, if I'm sitting there and I was looking in that class thinking about, I want to beat these other people, I want to outdo these other people, I would have outdone myself. I cannot receive what I deny my brother, because I and my brother are one. The fabric that weaves us all together is one. And so it might not have been that I fell back because I didn't understand the material. I might have fell back because on my way to Canton this wintertime, and who's to say that the snow or the traffic didn't slow me down? I could have run into all kind of obstacles that had absolutely nothing to do with the learning that I was doing, right? And so in order for me to make sure that what I'm bringing forth is good stuff, I got to make sure that within me is good stuff. So if all you're concerned about is the competition thing, if all you're concerned about is, I got a bigger this and I got a bigger, what did Jesus say? For those people, you get your just reward, because that's all you after, right? You don't get how do I want to talk about it? That acceleration. You don't get that. The downloads. You get I gotta get up here and, oh my gosh, I have had so many people that'll tell me about how they gotta spend hours trying to weave together a sermon, or they gotta do this in order to make this work, or all of that stuff. Y'all, there is a download that happens when you start getting that there's a fabric through all of this, that everything is connected, whether it is the snow and the trees and the food and all of it is connected and is beautiful. But the moment you start trying to outdo and outwit and out everybody, you get your just rewards. Okay, here go the little coins that you thought you was going to get. There go the coins, right? Oh, sweetie, it is about so much more. And this amazing, wonderful, this wonderful stuff that unites us all. And don't, you are always teaching. You are always teaching and showing people what it is, that you believe and what you're about. I called my niece back and I told her, I said, girl, I didn't hear no thank you, right? Because she needed to develop her ability to see, to be grateful, right? One of the things y'all, I got. So I spent years volunteering at this hunger center, right? Where we gave out food, and we gave out food to just people come in because they needed food. And a lot of times volunteering, right? That means you go in there and you're not getting paid, right? You're volunteering. And I would get cursed out by more people. Right? You hearing me, right? I would get cursed out by more people coming in there to get free stuff to be given by somebody who is performing free labor, because they didn't have the ability to recognize. Some people think, oh, you what? I don't know what you getting some out of this, right? I don't know what they're thinking, but they would curse me out almost on a weekly basis. I would get cursed out, and I would just kind of sit there looking at it like. For me, after a while, it was like it became some vitamins or something. It's just like, that's what people do. People used to get all bent out of shape about it, like, oh, she called me this and she called me that. And I'd just be like, well, you know what? If people ain't talking about you, it's because you ain't doing nothing, right? So I would just take it like, okay, this is, vitamins for me, because I just figure I'm here, just whatever. But I think that there is this part of us that wants to be appreciated. We want, people want to be appreciated and acknowledged for the stuff that they do. But the reason for doing it is not other people's appreciation or their acknowledgement. It is doing it for, be good for goodness sake. Isn't that a Christmas song? We do it for our own sake, and not necessarily because of what somebody else is going to do or how they're going to respond. And so there's this thing of constantly being aware of and checking the intention that we bring to. Remember, I talked about intention and attention, is checking the intention behind what we're doing. And so after a while, though, I did eventually quit volunteering up there. I'm talking about it as if it was in the past, because I eventually quit doing it. But the reason why I quit was not because I was getting cursed out by the people that was coming in there. It was, I eventually stopped doing it because there was a couple of crazy women up there that were also volunteering. And I swear I was being stalked by these women. I swear I was their favorite topic of conversation, which I can't think of anything better for you to think about, right? Or to talk about. But when I was sitting on my porch one day, and I stay in my house is a 2-family house, and I'm sitting on my porch upstairs one day, and a couple of people, there was 2 cars that turned onto my street. And in the first car, I could see the woman who volunteered with me. And she slowed down in front of my house, and I saw her point to my house. And then there was a car behind me, and they were like, everybody's like pointing at my house. And so then they drove on up, and then they turned around. They went to another driveway, turned around, and came back. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what are they doing? Right? What? And I was like thinking to myself, like, well, wait a minute. There is something wrong with this picture. They they didn't like me. But I've always said people who don't like me is because they don't know me, right? They don't know me. And they make a lot of assumptions. We make a lot of assumptions about other people all the time. That's part of the thing. And so in part it was the politics of, or the stuff that was coming in between the volunteers, not the people from the outside. I get why you cursing me out, because when you coming in there to get free food, it's already because of, there's this, I gotta get. I understand that. What I don't understand is that other stuff, that other stuff. And it took a long time, I think, for those women to let go of. I don't know what they thought, but it took them a long time to let go of whatever their thoughts were. The funny thing too is I have had people. I love how this works, and that's why I'm always sending out blessings to people who who look at me, who watch me. May my presence be a blessing. I wish everybody took on that type of thing, because what I say to people is get your blessings, right? If you want to stare. If you want to listen. If you don't, that's cool too. But in that exchange, I want there to be a blessing. And so what I know is that, sometimes when we're like, what you looking at? When you got that kind of attitude, what you would deny another, you deny yourself. What you give to others, you give to yourself, right? And so it has its own reward. If you are withholding, if you are giving, right? So there are certain laws at work here that you may not even recognize. Free your mind. Free your mind. And your ass will follow. Oh my goodness. Just, right? And I've had people who tell me that they are naturally competitive. They are competitive in everything in their life. This woman told me, she was like, I could be walking down the hall, and she says, if I see somebody in front of me, she said, I speed up. She said, because that's just the way I am. We don't even have to be going in the same direction. She was like, it's just a thing. I can't be behind somebody. I can't do this. I can't do that. She's like, it's just her thing. I thought, how funny is that? People compete and you don't even know that you compete, nor should you care, right? Nor should you care, because that kind of energy, it's got its own reward. So I find this stuff fascinating. I find it utterly fascinating. So I can't even believe I've probably been on here 40 minutes already. Just about, and I haven't even done the daily guide. I need to circle back and do the daily guide, and then I can continue moving forward. But I need to, just because it's part of what I'm doing, and blah 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 blah. Who knows what's going to come out of this? It's entitled "Live in the Now," right? These are written by Reverend Marilyn Louise Leo, and this is called "Live in the Now." And her first quote is from Matthew 6:34, and it says, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself." Right? Don't stop, right? Yeah, don't worry about tomorrow. It'll sufficient unto the day and the fullness thereof. Give thanks for what you got here right now, right? Right here, right now. That the ability to be grateful. Ooh, I love that. And I'm so thankful to God for that. I came in here and I sat down, and that's what comes through me today. From Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, the quote is, all that means anything is that while we live, we live. And whenever we go from here, wherever we go from here, we shall keep on living. Right? This eternal moment of now. Don't live in the yesterday or what happened last week or you did and all of that stuff. Now faith. Now faith. Right? Okay, so here we go. What does she have to say? There is actually no other time in which we can think or act except at this very moment. What took place before you started to read this? Daily guides are now in the past and a memory. It cannot be changed. Whatever thoughts and actions take place when you turn this page is for now in the future. It is your choice that those thoughts and actions, it is your choice what those thoughts and actions will be. However, we do not need to dwell on the future with worry or anxiety, nor will it do us any good to rehash what has already taken place. What we can do is to decide right now to begin to live only in the present moment, in the now. You have most likely heard more than once, forget about it. There is nothing you can do about it now. That is probably healthy advice. But what we can change, what our response will be when that same button is pushed the next time. What we can change is what our response will be when that button is pushed the next time. Take a look at what that button was and then evaluate your response and why you reacted the way that you did. Was it a sibling or a past relationship that was mentioned and perhaps confounded you? Or was it some action you took and had previously, was it some action you took and had previously been told about? Don't dwell on it. It is in the past. Moving forward, affirm that you will act or react differently in a more positive manner. Affirm your confidence in yourself. Love yourself. Be the true loving being that you were created to be. And so the affirmation that she put with this is right now, I see and listen with an open heart and know I am always in my right place, experiencing life fully. Okay. Good stuff. Now, sometimes we do have a tendency, I talk about things that have happened to me in the past, and I love to do so because, first off, I love how a story gives body and breath to an idea. Ooh, a good story. And so sometimes people will, in the effort of saying that they're living in the present, they, don't want to talk about any of the other stuff, right? And so they want to stay in this sterile moment but stories, experiences are things that we can learn from if we allow ourselves to. And so when I give a good story or a good example, it fleshes out some of the ideas and some of the choices about why things happen as they do. So that story about me going down to Canton to do those classes and how I changed around the energy in there and began to do what it was that is in my nature to do, which means that if I know that what I teach, I learn, and I put that into practice in my life, then what happens is this, this beautiful like getting it on a whole deeper level. It's so beautiful the way that it works for me. And anytime you are putting yourself in that position, what happens is by your saying yes to it, you get a dispensation. Something happens that shifts the energy around what it is that you're giving, what you're gifting somebody else. So it's not necessarily about, because, when I started, teaching people on lunchtime, it's not that I was getting some extra out of it. I wasn't, nobody was giving me their food. I wasn't taking food either. Nobody was paying me extra, or we wasn't getting that time back, or nothing had changed, except now I had a desire for those people who were the weakest in the class to come up so that they could then be in lockstep with the people who were out front. And I needed them to be. Because and how, here was a question too. How can a person take a job as a trainer who is only willing to train if it was working or suitable for them? I tell people, I'm a talker. I'm a trainer. This is who I am. And it doesn't matter whether you ever give me a dime or not. I'm doing me. It's not about what your response is. Like I said, I will talk to an empty room because it's what I do. It's what I do. It is part of, and here's the other thing. I remember, I tell people often about when I was ordained. I was so resistant. I was like, oh, I didn't want to be a minister. I didn't want to do that. Because in my mind, the way I perceived it is that if I was going to be a minister, I had to be above reproach. I had to be such a good girl. And I was like, oh my God, that's not what I wanted. But I had a conversation with God. and the question that came back to me is, did you think I didn't know who you was? Right? When I appointed you, did you think that I didn't know who the heck you was? As a matter of fact, what my hope is that you will continue to be who you are. Right? Don't get in the box. You don't have to worry about somebody keeping you in a box that you refuse to get in the first place. Nobody is going, and so I was just like thinking to myself, like, oh, is it like that? Like you accepting all of me? It was that thing. You mean to tell me that you accept me in my fullness? In my recalcitrant, stubborn, break every rule fullness? Fullness? In my bodacious, sexy, gotta talk about sex just like I talk about spirit, gotta talk about yoga, gotta talk about this, and bring it all together. You mean that me you accepting? Problem is the problem comes in when we can't accept ourselves. Not worrying about whether or not this thing that we know to be God accepts us. But the problem is when you don't accept yourself. So once you get to the place where you're accepting self, all the rest of this stuff, oh my gosh, it's like, okay. So there's something to be taught in all of the stuff. Like, yes, knucklehead, yes. Like all of these experiences and all the things that you've gone through. A Course in Miracles also said, what could you not accept if you knew that everything that happened, past, present, or future, everything was planned by one that loves you absolutely? What could you not accept? So all the judgments that you make about yourself, for naught, right? You can sit up there and talk about what you did, what you could have done, blah, 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 blah. But, this just getting with the program that you are loved absolutely and ain't nothing you could do about it, right? But get to a place of self-acceptance and stop, with all of the judgment and all of that stuff. Just get there. That's where you got to get. Just get there. And it is, I want to say, I know it's not a piece of cake, right? I should check because it's unusual. Nadine said hello, but it's unusual for me not to see anybody else. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh, I wonder if there's something wrong with my feed here. I'm just wondering. So yeah, it's just getting, oh, okay, that on my phone it says just Nadine. Okay, Nadine is perfect. Nadine is perfect because Nadine know her stuff, right? So when Nadine put her hands up, you done said something. Bless her heart. I met Nadine back when I was teaching one of my first Course in Miracles classes way back in the day. So yes, amen on that. So it is this thing, this getting to a place of self-love and self-acceptance and all of that stuff. And when you get that, it's just juicy stuff. She say, laugh out loud. Okay, I see that came up. So it is just getting to a place where we all accept ourselves as we are and stop wrestling with what we think we ought to be, right? And so I am sitting in this space nowadays where, I get this, I get it on a whole different level because I'm showing up every day. I'm showing up in a way that is, that's connecting. Here's something else I want to make sure I say to you, because a lot of people get, I don't know if we're confused about, I don't know if we are confused about the way things work or that they work. We talk about certain laws that are in effect, whether or not we know it or not. And so I can talk about the different things and how they work, but here's in part this thing of the power of our thoughts, the power of our mind. And so if you are judging you, if you are in a place of non-acceptance of you, then you live at the effect of that. If you think of yourself as being one with the divine energy that is God. Good morning, Ephraim. Thank you. If you think about the divine energy that is God at work, right? You participate in it. When I say you participate in it, it is saying yes to whatever your thoughts are. So if your thinking is that you're not enough, it's saying yes to that. Good morning, Bill. Hey. All right. So it's saying yes to that. If you're thinking that there's not enough, or if you're thinking I got to worry about these other people out here, it's saying yes to that. I mean, if you wrap your mind around what's going on the ticker tape of your mind, and you think about the things that you're seeing showing up in your life, it's because there is a part of you that is thinking that, which means you're calling it forth. And by your calling it forth, that's your experience. If you don't like the experience, then what you got to do is you got to change your mind. So you got to change your mind from thinking that I'm not enough then to I'm more than enough. That I am ordained to be here at this time. That I am assigned to this planet, to these people, to these circumstances at this moment. I have a responsibility to show up, and I show up. I'm saying yes. I'm not cowering. I am, standing forth. I am worthy of that which I desire. I am love made manifest right here and right now. What is it that you want to experience? I see money all over you. I trust and believe that you see money all over yourself. And because what you would deny another, you deny yourself. I trust that everybody you see, you are sending out that same blessing to. I see goodness and money all over you. I see health and happiness, wealth. I see perfect action all over you. I see blessings coming your way. I see ideas showering down upon you. I see the book written. I see the job that you desire being had. I see that circumstances that you no longer want to be, that they are a thing of the past. I see it as done right here and now. I don't care who you are. I'm sending that your way. And what I know is that God is so precise that as you receive it, it is done. It's done. And so when we start speaking blessings and calling blessings over other people, what we get is blessings over ourselves. So I'm sitting in this space where, I'm saying, and I'm saying to you, see it from me too, right? See it from me too. And so as we shift around our thinking, cause that like, I gotta be at the front of the pile, I gotta be at the top, I gotta do that kind of thinking. No, that's not the way the universe works. And so this idea that, that we are intricately connected because we are all part of the same fabric that is God, right? We are all part of this fabric. And so, when you think about it in those terms, it's so beautiful because you get what you give. The cost of giving is receiving. It is all a part of this beautiful thing called life. But the other flip side of this is, that there are so many people out there that are working at the antithesis of it. When you think about, so when I say the antithesis, it's so sad. Because the word live, L-I-V-E, this thing of living in the presence, when you flip it, it's spelled E-V-I-L, evil. So which way are you trying to live? Are you, what you putting out? And then the funny thing is that sometimes people are putting out, you want to make it seem like, okay, I can flip-flop, and it be okay. No, because what happens is is that the fact that that other part is in your life at all. Here, okay, let me get something I done learned out of my niece's homework, right? A positive and a positive equals a positive, right? A negative and a negative is a negative. A negative and a positive is a negative. You know? You know what I mean? A negative and a positive is a negative. Negative times a positive is a negative every time. You can't flip-flop in the middle. You either got to be all in or all out. Ah! I was just like, as I sat there and I was like thinking to myself, like, you know what? I'm solving for this equation. Anytime a negative is introduced with a positive, it's going to turn it to negative. You can't sit there and flip-flop and think that it's going to turn out positive. You got to decide which side of the fence you on. Not sitting in the middle, not, okay, sometimes here, sometimes there. Make a decision. Ooh, choose you this day what you going to serve. Choose you this day. All right, y'all. That was good for me. I don't know if it was good for y'all. And I didn't even get to talk about George Clinton. I did mention, that one song, Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow. Oh, because, I think that on Thursday I'm going to talk to Dr. Brown about this whole thing. Because, that doggone philosopher, George Clinton, I don't even know that I really was, grooving to the funk. I knew something was up with it because I knew that I would be constantly hypnotized. I would be hypnotized and taken up on the mothership. I knew that. But just now, in this space, oh my goodness. I done got the download, y'all. So I didn't even get to bring the funk. But I'm getting to the funk. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. Oh. All right, y'all. I have had fun today. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this little, this little moment with me. This, sometimes I just feel like I'm running in the meadow, free as a bird. And it just feels so good when it all works together and I'm just dancing, just in my spirit, I'm seeing it. And so I'm blessing you. I'm sending you blessings and I appreciate you being here. I thank you. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will be here tomorrow. Yes, God willing, I will be here tomorrow. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your prayers. And I am declaring just goodness all over you. Yes. All right. So I will see you. I will see you tomorrow. All right. Be blessed. Love y'all.